Before the end of the year, you might be looking for a used car. At Country Hill Motors, value is the most important thing, which is why they showed us their appraisal process so you can get the most for a trade-in. A lot of people with the end of the year right around the corner may be thinking about trading in a car or getting a car. So can you walk us through that appraisal process?
Absolutely. So when I'm walking around a car, the first thing we look at is any cosmetic damage. If there's anything on the car that would need body work, we want to be able to check that out. Doesn't necessarily disqualify the car, but certainly we want to look at stuff like if there's any bumper damage, we want to check the tires. Then we actually take it to our inspection facility and we look at major mechanical and then minor mechanical. So motor, transmission, differential, and then we also look at like brakes, belts, tires, and hoses. And if we find any issues there, we certainly want to talk about it. And then the last thing we look at is history, so Carfax. We're looking for any issues with accidents in the past and or flood damage or anything like that. Now, once we give the information to the customer, we give you 3 sets of values. First value we give you is what can you get out of it if you sell it on your own. So if you put it on the Craigslist or if you put it on AutoTrader or Cars.com and have people come to your house and take a look at your car, we'll give you the values that you should be asking. The next thing we give you is what we would pay. And keep in mind, we write a check that day. So usually it's, believe it or not, especially this time of year, it's fairly close to what you can get out in the public. And then if you need to replace the vehicle, we always offer you the opportunity to trade, but if not, we are happy to buy your car.
Okay, well, we got to see how this one rides.
Let's do it. Let's go for a ride.
So what are some reasons someone might be looking to sell their car?
Well, sometimes somebody needs to sell their car because they're either looking for a different car, they have an extra car in the driveway that they don't use anymore, or possibly they even inherited a car from a family member. And we obviously want to make sure that they get the most money possible. We're actually so serious, in fact, that we pay $250 more than CarMax, believe it or not.
Oh, that's awesome.
So when the vehicle comes in, we check it out and write a check the same day if we can come to terms.
Okay, and money, of course, is important, but it's not as important as getting the right value. Often,
we kind of fall into the trap of doing is placing price as the top priority in our search, where in fact, not all used cars are equal. So one owner may have kept perfect records on it and done oil changes and tire rotations, and another owner may have never done any of that work. But the car online can look very similar. So that's why it's so important that you get an inspection from a third-party mechanic if you're buying from an individual, or if you're buying from a dealer, do business with a dealer that does their diligence and does inspections, but then also services their car, like Country Hill.
I also want to know that if I want to buy a car, what are the questions I need to ask?
So some of the questions you want to ask is where did the dealer buy the vehicle? Because that'll help you understand what part of the country it came from, if it was a local car or not. You'll also want to ask what service did they perform to the car. You also want to prevent any future problems that may be coming like 2 or 3 years down the line. And so that's where maintenance history is important. And Carfax doesn't always provide the maintenance history, but with a good mechanic can do a solid inspection that allows them to see how the car was taken care of by the previous owner.
Okay, now on the flip side, if we are actually selling our vehicle, what do we need to ask?
If you want to figure out kind of what your car is worth, the Kelley Blue Books and the NADAs of the world are nice, but keep in mind, those book values were only created for 2 reasons: banks and insurance companies, both of which want to pay the least amount of money. So where you want to check is like Cars.com and AutoTrader and see what other vehicles like yours are selling for. And we'll be able to provide that for you as well. And then when you come in, we give you a fair market value and buy your car. And if you have a loan, by the way, we pay it off for you. We do all the paperwork and all you get is a check.
A lot of satisfied customers coming to Country Hill Motors dealerships in Marion and Olathe. You can get more information on everything from a trade-in to financing at countryhill.com. You can also call 913-362-7111.